Hi, my name is Emily. I'm 12 years old. I'm an Honest Daily reporter and I'm from Cape Town. Today we will be chatting to Yolande Baker, CEO of ChildSafe, who will be talking to us about safety in the home during the lockdown. She will also be talking about how to keep safe in small houses and spaces. We will be chatting to her over WhatsApp.
We have been told by government that we have to stay home, and during this time of the COVID-19 lockdown, by staying at home, we stop the spread of the virus in our community. And as the caregivers of children, we need to make sure that our children are also safe from infection of the COVID-19. It's really, really important for us to ensure that our children stay at home, whether they are expected to stay just inside the home or whether they'd be able to play outside in the yard also, but to ensure that your family does not have contact with another household. And we need to make sure that that happens. In terms of using a candle as a source of light, so here we recommend that you use a glass jar, a clean glass jar, fill it halfway with sand, and then put your candle in the middle of in the sand. If by any chance the jar falls over and the candle needs to be extinguished, the sand in the glass jar will extinguish that. So that's a very safe way of using a candle. But we also still use fires. Please keep an eye on children around open fires, whether you're using it just to sit around or whether you're just using it for cooking also. If you are cooking inside and you're using electricity, please make sure that when you're on the stovetop that you use your pan, that the pan or the pot handles are turned away from the edge of the stove, because we don't want little children and little hands reaching for those, and that could potentially lead to severe burns. If you are using an electric kettle, please make sure that the kettle cord doesn't dangle over the side of the cupboard, because liquid burns, hot water burns, food, soup and stew burns, and all of those are severe burns. My very first advice to parents and caregivers during this time is that you really just need to be vigilant. And I know it is extremely difficult for people to keep an eye on their children all the time, and even more so now that you have them at home 24 hours a day. But it is just something that we absolutely have to do right now. I think it's very, very difficult for parents who live in small homes during this time with having to keep children safe, because normally you would at least have outdoors. If you are living in an informal settlement, you would have your door open at least, and the children can walk in and out, so that way the child isn't in the house all the time. But during this lockdown period, you're expected to keep the child in the house, and it's really, really difficult, I'm sure. And I think here in particular, I'd like to point out 2-3 injuries that could potentially be very dangerous here. Is the poisoning aspect, because there's paraffin in the house, there are the cleaning materials, there could be other pesticides that we have, and those things need to be packed away as far away as possible to keep it out of reach of children. The third important thing that I'd like to emphasize is the storage of water. I know that families who live in small homes and informal settlements have to store their water for daily use. It's important for people to have the water accessible during the night, to be able to drink and cook and wash and all of that. Please, if at all possible, if you cannot store the water out of reach, as in high up away from the child, if it can please be stored in a bucket with a tight lid that will stop a child from being able to open the lid. During any emergency where a caregiver and a child are together, the first thing that I would say to a caregiver is to please ensure that you stay calm. Because if you are calm, you will be able to keep the child calm. And it is very, very important for the child to calm down, because that way then they will know that they are safe and that you would be able to take care of them. If you need any information, you can contact your nearest clinic, or if you have access to the internet, you can visit the ChildSafe South Africa website, which is at www.childsafe.org.za.
thank you so much for chatting to us.
You are listening to RX Radio.
For and by children.
RX Radio. RX Radio rocks.